Good morning. It's Jo here from the York Buddhist Centre. We're going to be doing a loving kindness meditation this morning, and we're just going to wait for 5 minutes for people to gather. So if you're watching this later on catch up, do feel free to fast forward the first 5 minutes, which is almost entirely me drinking my coffee. But it'd be lovely to have you with us for the meditation. And of course, if you want, you can just get settled as if it's in real time with us, and we'll greet people as they arrive. I'm just going to put my chat function on, see what happens. Philippa's there. Good morning, Philippa. Good to hear you. Well, good to see your name even. No, I can't hear you, but hopefully you can hear me. Hello, Chris. Oh, good morning. Nice to see you here this morning as well. It was so lovely. Chris popped into the shop a couple of weeks ago, and it was really nice to meet her for the first time. And myself and Lynn are going to be down there this morning, manning the York Buddhist Centre shop. So it's a little bit rainy today. I don't think York will be full of tourists today, so we might be due for a stock day where we go around putting the prices on tickets. Good morning, Graham. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a catch up with Lynn, because I haven't had a good one-to-one catch up with Lynn for ages. So I can hear all about her retreat. So that'll be my lovely Friday afternoon. And I apologise because I am not Eugenio. Unfortunately, Eugenio couldn't make it this morning. So it's me instead. So I hope you're feeling better, Eugenio. Hello, Sangha K2. Oh, we can't wait to have you down the shop. I shall definitely put the kettle on in honour of you arriving. Hello, Showbit. Oh, I love my Buddha as well. He was in the garden all last year, so I've brought him in from the garden and given him a holiday, and the other Buddha's having a holiday in the garden, so we did a swap, and they both seem really happy with their new position. But yeah, this is my first Buddha that my husband bought me, and I love the smile on his face. So I'm glad you can see that, even though it's a little bit small in the picture, but he's a big presence in the room. Morning, Jenny. Good morning. I hope you're all nice and comfortable. I've got a brief psychological exercise for you before we meditate this morning, to do with our gaze and how intensely we gaze at something. So I was reading it on the train yesterday in my Bodhipaksa book, which is really, really good. If anyone can borrow it or buy it, or maybe you have it already. But so I thought to start the meditation this morning, instead of a poem or a reading, I thought we'd do a brief kind of investigation into our gaze, and I think that'll really help our meditation. Good morning. So I think we've got both Grahams here this morning. Good morning, Graham, and Stuart, and Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Fantastic to have you here. And we'll just wait till 7 o'clock, and then we'll start the proper meditation. So I'll just finish the rest of my coffee. Oh, good morning. We've got both Philippas as well as both Grahams. What a treat. Good morning, Philippa A. Okay, so at 7 o'clock, so we'll get going. So we're going to do a meditation this morning based on loving kindness, Metta Bhavana, which means cultivating metta, and a common translation of metta is loving kindness. But if that feels not quite right for you, you could think of cultivating kindness, which is something we're a bit more familiar with, isn't it, in the Western world, maybe a bit more comfortable with. Good morning, Lynn. But just to start with, as I said a few minutes ago, I thought we could have an experimentation for two or 3 minutes about different ways that we relate to our sense of vision. And there's a brief exercise for doing this in this Bodhipaksa book, The Difficult Thing of Being Human, which is great. I should say at the start, for people that don't know me, I'm a Mitra with the York Buddhist group, and I've been studying Buddhism for nearly 3 years now. And as with almost everyone you'll talk to, it has changed my life in a lot of ways, and made me feel much calmer and more connected. So good to see anyone who hasn't met me before this morning. So this is kind of really useful when you're doing mindfulness practice or meditation practice. So we're going to explore 2 different ways that we can relate to our sense of vision. Okay. And we'll do this exercise and then we'll just go into the meditation. It won't take long. So the first bit is to position yourself. So basically let your gaze rest naturally on something in front of you. So something at a good eye level. So it might be like a little speck on the wall, or it might be one of your Buddha rupas, or maybe a certain tile on the floor, and just choose a certain point, a small object or a little detail of a larger object. And just for a minute, try and focus your attention entirely on that focal point. So just block everything else out and just pay attention to that focal point. So let's just have a brief go at doing that now. I'll do it too. So just really focusing on one point that you've chosen. All your attention. You might notice that where you're actually focusing seems a bit unsteady, and that's okay. And you might notice that the peripheral bits of your vision become darker, so you have a kind of a sense of tunnel vision, and that's fine as well. That's just something that happens as we really focus on a point. But as you're focusing as you're doing this in a very focused way, just notice the feeling tone of your experience. What's that like? Is your body relaxed or tense? Just notice the rate and the depth of your breathing. Are you breathing in a relaxed way, or is your breathing a bit fast and shallow? And just notice whether the mind is busy or quiet. So just noticing that effect just for a moment. And now we're going to change the way that we're looking. So same object in front of you, but I want you to try and change your gaze in a certain way. So let your gaze rest lightly on that point or that object. Let the muscles around the eyes relax, almost as if you were staring into space. Let your focus soften. And by softening your focus, you can kind of become aware of everything in your visual field. Obviously, it'll be a bit blurry because you're focusing on one point, but just letting that gaze relax and just allowing yourself to see everything, letting go of that focus, that intense focus on the point, and just taking in the whole of the visual field. And just notice how that way of seeing affects the way that you feel. Notice whether various parts of the body are relaxed or tense. Notice the depth and the rate of your breathing. Notice whether the mind is quieter or active. Okay, so that's the experiential bit, but most people will find that when the gaze is narrowly focused, the body becomes tense and the feeling tone is a bit more strained and maybe a little bit anxious. Breathing might be a bit tighter, a bit more rapid, and in the upper chest. And you might find that there's a lot of thinking going on. And by contrast, when the gaze is more open, so not focusing on that central point, but just looking in that direction, and the focus is soft, muscles around the eyes are relaxed, the body begins to release tensions, feel a bit more at ease. The breathing slows, deepens, and maybe involves the belly a bit more. The mind is a bit calmer, so whatever thoughts you have just drift lightly by. So just observing those differences between those two ways of seeing, the narrow way where you're really focused on one thing and you're putting a lot of effort into that, and the more open way of seeing can be really helpful in meditation. And I did notice it myself yesterday. I visited a different city yesterday with my daughter, and because it was a day off and I was wandering around and I was kind of looking at the buildings, at some point in the day I just felt my face was really relaxed. My feet were aching, but my gaze was just sort of wandering around everything, and it was kind of just taking everything in, and I did feel quite relaxed in my body, and that's quite different from, say, even if you're reading a book or maybe writing a report, your gaze is quite focused, isn't it? So it's a different kind of energy. So I just thought we'd notice that at the beginning of the meditation this morning, and maybe we can just remind ourselves to have a relaxed gaze, an open gaze, as we go through the meditation this morning. So just getting into your meditation posture if you're not already, and just taking a bit of time to arrive. Maybe just taking a couple of deep breaths and letting your body relax on the out breath. Just the aim of being relaxed as possible, and yet something dignified about your posture, which is kind but alert, kind to yourself but alert, so you can help yourself really be present during the meditation. Just feeling your body resting into gravity. And just letting the tension go a little bit more every time you breathe out. Gravity's holding you. You don't need to cling on. Just feeling into the points of contact with the ground, whatever you're sitting or kneeling on. Just being aware of being connected with the ground, or whatever's holding you this morning. Just resting your awareness with your breath. How it moves the front of your body when you breathe in and out. How it moves the back of your body. Feeling the echo of the breath in the back of your body. The sides of your body. The inside of your body. Feel how the breath is just gently massaging your inner organs that work so hard for our body. And the whole surface of the body. Just being aware of how the breath affects the whole of our body. Just allowing your breathing to find its own natural rhythm. And if any thoughts are arising, daydreams, just allowing them to arise and pass. Just to flow past you. Like a stream on the hillside. Just let them go. And come back to your awareness in your body. Just resting here, centered and grounded. And in the first stage of the Metta Bhavana, we're going to direct a sense of kindness towards ourselves this morning, just as we are. Just a human living with your own conditioning, looking for contentment and inner peace. But often feeling blown around by the worldly winds, things changing, maybe things happening in our life that are out of our control. And that's very difficult for us, because we tend to like things to be fixed and constant, and to know what we're doing. We automatically want things to be pinned down, and they're just not. We're just in a constantly changing stream of life. Everything's fluid. Even we're constantly changing, growing. So it's really difficult being human. So can we really wish ourselves well this morning? Can we look at ourselves with a kindly gaze? Because we're all actually quite amazing. The chances of us being here, alive as a human being in the way that we are absolutely miraculous. The chances of us being here together this morning, all of us with our different lives, is absolutely miraculous. Just allowing in the kindness of other people as well. Just feeling now the people who wish us well, and just lowering our defences so we can feel compassion and well-wishing of other people in the world. Just letting it rest on us, like a lovely golden sunlight just in this moment. Can you open your heart to yourself this morning and really wish yourself well? May I be well. May I be happy. May I be free from suffering. Now we're going to bring to mind a good friend into our meditation. Maybe someone who did a kind act towards us or gave us some good advice. Maybe just the first person who comes into your mind. Can we look upon this person with a kindly gaze? Maybe imagining them in front of you, remembering their kindness and their goodwill towards us. And we know that this person being here and in our lives is absolutely amazing. The chances of knowing this person are minuscule, and yet they're in our life and they've had a good impact on us. Can we extend a feeling of loving kindness towards this friend, this person that we have positive feelings towards? Because they have a tough time too, that's for sure. They're very much like us. They cling to enjoyment, things that make them happy, and they want those things to stay in their life, to stay constant in their life. And they just don't. Things are just in the flow of change. And that causes them suffering all the time, just as it does with us. So can we beam them some loving kindness this morning? Just opening our heart to them. And you may notice as you think about this friend that there feels like an opening up in your heart centre, which is just behind the lower rib cage. Just be open to feeling a warmth there, a sense of energy. This is where we host a lot of our positive emotions. And when we feel kindness and love towards somebody else or towards ourselves, this area really can unfold So just wishing our friend well from our heart. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. And now bringing to mind a neutral person, someone that we don't know very well or at all, but a face that we know, maybe from Zoom meetings or somebody that you pass on the street but don't know very well, but you know them as a face in the neighbourhood. Just choosing whoever comes to mind. And when we think about this person, we probably don't have many feelings showing up within us because we don't know them. They're a relative stranger. And in this third part of the Metta Bhavana, we're going to send loving kindness to this person that we don't know very well. Because what we do know for sure is that they suffer in this world just as we suffer. Their life is really important to them. The lives of the people that they love, really important to them. When things go wrong, they feel despairing, discouraged. Maybe they have an illness that they struggle with, or a disability. Maybe they're just getting older like we all are, and noticing their changing body. They're a human in the flow of life. Things changing second by second. And our human brains don't cope with that very well. Can we really wish them love, compassion, can we gaze upon them with kindly eyes? Just holding this person in your mind for a minute and really wishing them well. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. And in the fourth stage of the Metta Bhavana, we're going to bring to mind a person that we find difficult or frustrating. Just someone that brings up difficult feelings for us, difficult emotional states, whether that's irritation or anger, frustration. someone that just jars with us a bit. Just welcoming that person into our meditation and imagining them in front of you or maybe beside you. And just checking in with your body, because it might be that even thinking about this person has an effect of making your body tense up, or maybe some thoughts showing up in your mind. Just letting them go with kindness. Just relaxing the body with your breath. And what we're going to do is really direct some loving kindness towards this person who can be tricky for us. Can we imagine opening our heart to this person, looking upon them with a kindly gaze? Maybe imagining smiling at them. See how that feels. Although we do find this person tricky, what we know for absolute sure is that they suffer just as we do. They're getting older, and they will eventually have illnesses, and of course, like we all will, they'll eventually die. And along the way, they have to live with their human tendency to cling to things that bring them pleasure and avoid things that bring them pain. And they'll get into a real mess with that, as we do from time to time. As life constantly changes around them. They will try and pin things down and be certain of things. Feel really disappointed and demoralised when things change despite their plans and their wishes. This person struggles with being human. That is absolutely a guarantee. Can we send them genuinely some good wishes for their well-being? Can we cultivate a feeling of love and kindness inside us, even in the face of negative feelings? And noticing that as your heart opens a little bit, you might feel a more strengthening feeling of love and warmth in your heart centre. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be free from suffering. And just in this final stage, we're going to bring all 4 humans together. It's ourselves, our friend, the stranger or the neutral person, and the person who brings up difficult feelings within us. Just imagining all 4 of you together, maybe sitting in a circle or standing in a circle, somewhere in nature. Can we wish equal amounts of kindness and well-being towards all 4 beings, all 4 humans? And remember to include yourself, because you are equally deserving of kindness and love. May we all be well. May we all be happy. May we all be free from suffering. And if that feeling of kindness and well-wishing is strong enough, just letting it travel further to all the people in your street, in your community, in your country. Just allowing and imagining loving kindness to be travelling right round the world to all the beings, humans and animals, up into the sky, into space, all the beings up there, birds, insects, humans, any beings. Imagining your loving kindness going downwards as well into the earth, creatures down there, the ground itself. May we all be well. May we all be happy. May we all be free from suffering. Just enjoying that feeling of love and friendliness within you. Well, I hope you enjoyed our morning meditation, and that you all have a lovely day. And maybe as you go through the day, just connecting with your heart centre, just allowing a feeling of kindness and friendliness to really be there towards yourself and other people. And maybe also just thinking about our exercise before the meditation, just allowing your gaze to be relaxed, especially if you notice some tension creeping in today. Just letting those eye muscles relax, allowing your gaze to soften and just taking everything and seeing how that impacts on your body. So I hope you had that lovely meditation, and I will be seeing you next week, next Friday. We've got Kate back on Monday, hooray! And then Shaki Padar, Sangha K2, and also, I'm going to forget her name now. I should have written that name down. I'm so loved up that I can't remember our new lovely meditator's name, but she'll be with you as well from Sheffield, I believe on Tuesday. So we'll look forward to all those meditations. Have a lovely day and a lovely weekend, and take care of yourselves. Bye now. Bye.